hi to everyone and their friends and their neighbors and their loved ones.
Wow, keep going.
Welcome to this show that we like to call something with there's gear in it. It's basically about gears like transmissions, things like that.
Wow. I think I see maybe why I typically have to do the intro. I figured out the mystery there.
Gears in clocks. Lots of them. Woohoo, man.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Gear and Gigs. I'm sorry for the confusion. Reg. What can you say? You gotta love him.
Well, you see, I'll tell you what. I'm going to explain. I'll explain to you in a moment. We're going to call it dementia, but you told me we were going to have a flashback to the 70s.
We are flashback 70s show.
So,
that's correct.
And then it's like it should be costume appropriate. Now, I don't have any clothes left from the 70s.
Hey, left from the 70s, no. To emulate, thank you.
Or to emulate, yeah. So, I might have gone back a decade too far.
It's fine. It'll work out great. We've got a look going this time, folks. It's you'll see why. And if you don't see why, well, then you need to do some YouTube digging, and you will. That will all become clear. Today's show I've been looking forward to this. Reg and I have had about a month off through various reasons. And so this is our first time back. And we thought, let's costume it up, because I told him it was a 70s show, and that's what we've got. Now, he's, of course, you all know what it is because you've seen the thumbnail and you've clicked on it, but he has no idea at this point what this pedal, it's a pedal, is going to be. I have to tell him it's a pedal because, we got this weird square shape over here. But this was his suggestion. Hey, I'm able to tell sometimes. Let's put up a boxy shape, and then I won't know. So there we go.
Right. Adds to the mystery. Plus, for me, it's the return of the Magic Hanky.
He likes the Magic Hanky, which... I'm not a fan of the name that he's chosen to don. That particular piece of cloth. One time.
It's been through a lot.
It was the magic cloth of doom. I don't remember, but anyway, nonetheless, yes. Today's show will be brought to you by the 70s. So I'm going to remove the cloth. Here's the timpani won't even come in play yet because we're just going to do this and see. It's actually just blocked, so he can't tell. So we're going to put the cloth down there. Now we're going to run the timpani. Are you ready?
I've been ready.
Okay. All right. Think
70s. Oh, okay. All right. Now that's Starsky and Hutch, right?
It is.
Okay.
It is Starsky and Hutch.
I told you last time when you got the mystery machine that you were now officially with a collection. This is now, it's more than officially, it's a professional collector. You're absolutely. Okay, so let me guess then what kind of effect could possibly be in there.
Well, hang on. First, let me, turn on the lights.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah.
A common feature amongst all these awesome pedals. It started out with the DeLorean, which is the
DeLorean, yeah.
The delay, and if anybody hadn't already seen any of that, it's
there's
funny.
Links. I'll put links up above.
But I had made the thumbs up before I heard the delay. Right, never even heard anything with the delay, and it was like, doesn't matter. This pedal is a winner. It's a DeLorean, and then that was followed. What was the next one?
The Ghostbusters.
Ambulance. The Ghostbusters ambulance, and I was like, oh my god, again. Doesn't even matter. And that one had even more lights and things that it did.
I'll put that up one of these corners up there.
And that was a reverb. And turns out, very tasty delay, very tasty reverb. Then you come along with the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine, right?
I'll put that up there too.
And that turns out to be a chorus. Is that correct?
It was, of course.
And wouldn't have mattered one bit if it was an average or even a lackluster chorus effect. It's the Mystery Machine, right? And once again, 3 for 3. It was a delightful and musical chorus.
It was, yeah, very good chorus, yeah, very tasty.
Crazy, but certainly awesome. So now this has to be a different effect. It has to be, right? It wouldn't be.
It's the only, when I tell you what it is, you'll go, Of course, it had to be. Just like the the DeLorean, a time machine, had to be a delay, and the Ghostbusters had to be a reverb, right? A ghostly reverb, and the Mystery Machine had to be a chorus. Well, this has to be what it is. It has to be. Maybe of all of them, maybe the most.
Start to get, and probably
And now think back to the 70s, and if these guys showed up, what would you say? Here comes the
fuzz.
The fuzz.
Right? There's some 70s. Here come the fuzz.
It's a fuzz. Of course, it has to be a fuzz. Yeah, that's what it is.
Right. And once again, even if it's not anything spectacular or whatever, if it's less than what you would expect, it's still.
You're already thumbing. Yeah. I get you. We're holding the seal back. Flippy, hang on.
My expectations are higher now, though, because of the last three being as good as they were.
I know, right? I can understand that.
It's going to be a good fuzz.
The door's open, of course, as you would expect. I'll show close-ups of all this stuff. And, it's when you turn it on, it lights up blue inside, like a cop blue, like their little beacon. So that's very cool. It's a rat style circuit, so it's nice fuzz to use in a lot of applications rather than, a super vintage sounding fuzz. I mean, still rat was pretty darn vintage, but anyway, it's a rat style fuzz. Today I'm going to be playing something different. One of Reggie's favorite guitars is why I pulled it out. It was on the Tone Castle album on several cuts. It's a Fano. It's a GF6, is that right? Yeah, an alt de facto GF6. It's hollow, and it looks a lot like a Starcaster, the old Fender Starcaster from the 70s, so that works out. Strangely, they did it in Rickenbacker livery. It looks very Rickenbacker. In fact, I had a big white pickguard on there that I've since taken off because it was too much. It was too much, but I like it. It's a little distressed.
Would come get you for that, wouldn't they?
Right, they'd be all over that. But it's a nice sounding guitar. It's real easy to play and very Fendery. To be honest, on the neck is very Fendery. But
I think it's got a very unique tone. I think it sounds very individual, but not a lot of beef on the bottom and not a lot of jangle on the top. But it has everything you want, all the meat in the middle.
It does it very. Yes, and there's another quote that shows up under your picture.
Well, you know what, and I do like that. I like that because sometimes, as you're aware of this, sometimes when you hear it, I'm hearing it for the first time too, and that happens.
It's nice to know that there's no filter going on inside first. That's
generally not. Yeah,
that's good. That's nice.
Only the largest chunks get. Right.
3 syllables and under, that just flies right through. I don't even notice that. Yeah. So that's what we'll be playing today. We're going to be playing through a Boogie, Triple Crown, a TC 50 watt. Back there, 3 channels, all tube, mic'd up with our standard tube mic, and going straight into a digital recorder, so there's no post-processing or anything like that. The reverb you'll hear is from the amp. It's just a spring reverb. For now, we're going to start with the clean sound, and this is what that sounds like. Pretty basic tone.
It's got beautiful clarity.
It does a lot of good, complex mid-range stuff going on. It really comes to life with some gain, which we're about to find out, hopefully. So I'll start with the knobs all the way down to standard controls, tone, gain, volume.
I mean, there you go. And the thing is what I really like, and this is obviously partly the pedal, but partly the guitar, is even with a fair amount of dirt and hair on the tone, it still has that all that clarity. Every single note, every nuance is just right present. It's
Well, it's a testament to we know the guitar's got those kind of details. It's a testament to the pedal that it lets them out without a lot of noise. Mm-hmm. I mean,
yeah, none of their pedals are noisy.
I don't hear any added noise. And I just dialed it, the first sound up wherever the knobs just happened to land. And we haven't even messed with this. Let me just quickly roll around some of the settings and see if there's better things. But yeah, and it feels really good to play too. Tone.
Yeah.
So now I've got it set kind of as a clean boost. Let's see how that works.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Let's see if it cleans up on with the guitar volume. It does. There's a big volume disparity between, but it still does. I mean, you can
There is,
compensate.
yeah. It is a big volume. But what I was going to say is like these pedals, all of them, this one especially, because Fuzz is of the four, Fuzz is the hardest to really get right.
I would agree.
Especially to have it not only be right, but also to not be noisy in the process.
Right, and that's very rare. It's not buzzing, it's not humming, and this is kind of a noisy guitar, to be honest, and a noisy amp a little bit. And there's so many usable sounds. There wasn't a sound in there that I'm not going. I can make that work with with other stuff. I know you said, well, it would be cool if you're going to do a drive. It should be a Batmobile. You were really about the Batmobile. So this is it fits the Fuzz thing so well, and it's honestly one of my favorite distortions. It's really good. It's easy to use. I've tried it on a lot of guitars. It's great. It couldn't look any cooler for me. But I felt bad that we didn't have the Batmobile drive pedal that you wanted. So I found a pedal that has the same exact circuit inside. And if Reg could close his eyes for just a second, I will swap this out here. Just a moment here. All right, I will literally park it right next to that, and okay, there you go, Reg. You can take a look now, and as you can see,
I honestly didn't look in, but now see,
it's a Batmobile.
Right?
It's the animated series Batmobile. Right. We lit up in the front and the grill with orange and blue on the inside, and it has the same circuit, so it becomes the Ratmobile. What? So, are we happy though with a Batmobile drive pedal?
We are, and I was thinking is like, okay, so surprisingly that you didn't open with the Batmobile, but I understand now why.
I thought it was cool to have, because the circuit has got so much flexibility, it would be okay to have two.
You got more.
I just felt like there should be a clean boost. We talk about a clean boost, and somehow I really like the distortion aspect of this for like a middle range distortion, and maybe this one for real high gain distortion. I thought, okay, and this is not the Batmobile that you wanted. This is not the one you wanted. I mean, this is a cool Batmobile, but it's not the Batmobile that you were requesting as your drive pedal. So I went ahead and had them make a 1960s series Batmobile with a clean boost, because you can't have.
That's the real one. That's the real Batmobile.
This is the real Batmobile, and he couldn't be a dirty boost. He'd have to be a clean boost because it's Batman, Adam West. So this we're gonna take a listen to and see what you think about that. I'm gonna open the door and let Batman stand in the door. Here we go. There you go. He's standing in the door. Robin is in the car and he's on the phone, on the bat phone, because
Well, he would have
teenagers.
to be.
Yeah, teenagers are always on the phone.
Taking messages.
So as you can see, this one also headlights, lights up, and when you turn it on, it turns orange inside. Of course. So this is a clean boost. There's one knob. It is honestly, and I'm amazed at this clean boost. I'm amazed at it every time.
I'm not going to be surprised at all at any of this anymore.
So without first and then with. Okay, so here it is all the way up. It's so much it may overdrive everything. We'll just see. It's a ridiculous amount of gain, but listen to the noise.
Yeah, they're all quiet.
I can't get over the
They're all-
quietness of
they're
that.
quiet because they're hand built. I'm guessing.
And it's just such a usable, beautiful little boost. I mean, why would you use the one if you could use the other? It's just such a nice boost. One knob, can't go wrong. He can build it into a lot of different things. Obviously, I had him build it into this for Reg's enjoyment. But, I could have had that put into this or this or whatever.
Obviously, I mean, I love all of them, right? All of them. But before this is like once the Mystery Machine showed up on the scene, that became my favorite. Because,
Really?
Yeah, because I have because of my generation. I'm a little older, and Ghostbusters and Back to the Future, those things. Well, I was already kind of like.
But Starsky.
I remember that from the 70s. I never used to watch it a lot. I've seen it, but it wasn't one of, that probably came on when I was out, out of the house. But the Batmobile, the 66 Batmobile TV show, see, that's got to be the favorite now, even though the Mystery Machine is, it's 1A and 1B, so Batmobile and Mystery Machine.
Really like that as a clean boost. Up here, by the way, I have another one.
Interesting.
That is the Sports Almanac from Back to the Future. Remember the one Biff took back and gave to his younger self so he could become the rich billionaire? This is the same circuit as the Batman boost. So you can have it even built into his almanac. And this is a cool little pedal board size, fits right on a board, just looks like a pedal until somebody comes over to your board and is like, oh my God, that's the Back to the Future Sports Almanac. And you go, yeah, it is. So very cool. Other pedal that he does for that. As I said, same exact circuit there as what's in the Batmobile clean boost. One of my favorite clean boosts. It's just,
it's
just
got
what you want.
Power too. It really does. It's not a, haven't used a lot of boosts in my life. I have one boost presently, but over the, I haven't had a great deal of them over my life. But I have noticed from model to model, brand to brand, some of them are, you get like 6 decibels or whatever, and it's just this mild little whatever. And, some of the hotter ones would give you 12 or 15, and this one seems like it's got to be on that upper end.
Oh, yeah.
I know they make them hotter than that nowadays, but I think there's a certain point where you get such a boost from it that it's no longer the clean signal anymore. It's
right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
There's a sweet zone in there somewhere, 12 to 15, 18 decibels or whatever. Where
That's
you
the thing about this one. It's like defies physics because I keep thinking it should be breaking up, but all the things I run into, as long as I set them up pretty clean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I mean, you can send it into overdrive, but if you play lightly, it just blossoms. The notes just pop and become big, and then you get used to it, and you think, well, is it really doing that much? And you turn it off, you go, oh my God, where'd my sound go?
right. What happened? That's what those are the pedals that you kind of like you hate to love, because before you had them, you were happy with the clam, right? Everything, man. You freaking explained to all your buddies your signal chain and like, blah blah blah, buffer here, compressor there, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden you get this pedal and I have to have this on all the time. All the time. I can't not have this pedal.
How could I have lived without
ever,
yeah.
right? And that's just a sad little. I've
Well,
had
at least my always on pedal is the Batmobile, so at least I don't feel too bad. It's
Right.
This one comes with die-cast. I mean, die-cast Batman and Robin. These things are heavy. It's ridiculous. Just like the Scooby-Doo's. Really nicely done. Really nicely done. The model is. It's just so good.
They all are.
They really all are. Yeah.
Their works of art is die-cast by themselves, and the fact that they have these awesome circuits built in with these, super quiet effects that do
Super
exactly
quiet.
what's, none of them are. It's not like you're going to be getting some red panda pedal where you have all this, control over the signal and what you can do and all the amazing, because that's amazing in its own right. But the fact that these are die-cast cars that have these really solid analog circuits in them that just do the thing that you want them to do without, making anything too crazy.
Oh, they're not all analog. The reverb was digital, of course.
Reverb is okay. Well, but I mean, they're.
I'm not sure even the chorus is. I'm not sure if they're analog or digital. To be honest, there's very little information on the guts of the pedal, which
I
is
just assumed they were.
flies in the face of normal pedal manufacturers who are all about this does this and this. That stuff isn't really talked about. I think it's almost taken for granted. Hey, the pedal's going to be great. It does what we say, and now just enjoy the art of it and
Right.
the conversational nature of hey, what do you want to play through today? Well, Batmobile or Starsky Hutch. It's just-
Right?
That's a fun conversation.
Which Batmobile?
It's a sense of occasion that makes a moment more special, which could give you inspiration, which might make you play that much more interestingly or outside of your own normal patterns or what have you. If you're trying to get somebody else to play something or come up with an idea, maybe putting this in front of them would change what they were it's going to change what they were going to come up with,
It does, and it's because it's got the extra visual effect to it too, other than the actual effect to the signal, which by itself, as a lonely bass player, that if I play bass, it's usually home by myself. If I didn't have an array of effects to play with in various forms and routings and what have you, it would be just not enough.
Yeah.
Right. It just a bass into an amp. That's great if you're playing a 80s, 70s cover band in a bar. Bass to the amp is perfect. But when you're home alone and you're just trying to, just get creative by yourself, just come up with something.
Right.
Man, I'll tell you what, just having a couple dozen pedals under your feet really makes a big difference.
Well, it'd be like if you were a synthesizer player and all you had was a sine wave and a square wave to play with.
Right.
And that's it. And you couldn't really tweak them or add anything to it. You just had those basic ways to play with. Or you could have all these filters and you could have all this modulation and you could have all these delay-based things and a little distortion or noise. And hey, now that sine wave is way more fun to play with and way more inspiring. Same thing with bass, basically.
Right.
Or
is.
guitar. It's the same thing.
It is. It's the same concept.
And I think clarinet players and flute players ought to get behind pedals more. I'm thinking they ought to have a pedal
who
more.
I've seen who has a pedal channel that's very interesting?
The harpist?
Harp Girl, yes.
Yeah, harp girl.
Oh my God, I love her.
Yeah.
I love her, and I love her adventurousness in that, because she goes full on down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And a lot of those, what I was talking about, those red panda pedals and things of that help that are just amazing. But also, sometimes for me, pedals that do too much, even though everything they do is done very well. Like just delay pedals that might have eight or 10 different types of delay, right? And I got one of those, but I'll find one I like and hardly ever move it, right? That's just if I kick that pedal on, it's the one because I don't want all those options and constantly be messing around with it. And some of those I'm talking about are exactly that. Where these pedals, on the other hand, are direct. They do what they do, and they're tasty, and they sound very musical. And I mean, what more can you say? I guess it's this time it's 6 thumbs up. Right, as best I could do that. You might
Bring Flippy out. Yeah, we got to bring Flip. We'll bring 3 Flippies out. There we go. Flippy and his 2 cousins, Floppy and Jonathan. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know. But Flippy and his cousins giving us the flips up for this because, yeah, the seal of approval all over. We love the VVco stuff. Man, oh man, I just never fail to excite me. And when I plug it in and turn on the lights, I'm always like, get the fizz. And then when I play through it, I'm always like, oh my gosh,
likewise. I mean, I get
bonus.
as excited as I can to be seeing them on a screen,
right?
And knowing what they are because I'm a big fan of diecast anyway, right? So as we both are, and just knowing that, and then showing like the doors opening, the lights, just the construction, the way they're built. Like, oh my God, those are on their own worth the price of admission just to put on a shelf and a display. Right?
Yeah.
If for nothing else.
Yeah.
The fact that they're effects pedals and they're actually good is almost irrelevant.
And yet.
Awesome.
Yeah, and yet awesome. So once again, Nick from VVco did a great job. And man, oh man, we couldn't be happier. And, I think that's probably, that's enough for a cool looking board. We may have to do that project here soon. So be on the lookout for that. We'll see what we can do to get them all chained up and run together. And thanks once again for joining us for a silly but amazingly fun show.
Right.
Yeah. And thanks once again for Reg for joining me. I knew he would enjoy the show. I've been waiting to have it for so long. So for Reg, I'm Jet. You guys take care. We will see you next time. Subscribe.